Are you ready to level up your business to $1 million business in 2025 God's way? And you don't want to spend all your time operating your business or become a slave to your business? Well, this is for you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Let me make sure we rocking on all cylinders. Make sure I'm live everywhere. Make sure I've been having. All right. We rocking. Welcome. So last week we dived into the parable of the sower in Mark chapter 4, verses 3 through 8. Because if you want to do this God's way, it's important to have a frame of reference. Because we're essentially sowing $1 million business together without having to slave to our business or spend all our time doing this, right? So, first, we addressed why at times we do not do the things we know we should, right? What's happening internally that's stopping us and how to avoid it. Now, why did we talk about this last week, right? Why did we talk about this topic? Well, because thoughts are seeds, deeds are seeds, and actions are seeds. And the parable of the sower is a great reference to keep in mind as we've decided to set our intention on building $1 million business. Also, because with any intention we set, disruption is going to follow that intention. And how we respond to that disruption will dictate whether our intentions come to fruition or not. So check out that last live if you haven't already to get that information. Okay. We also had some homework last week that we need in order to start implementing this process. We're supposed to write down 5 things people come to us for help with, or 5 things we're great at doing. And lastly, we should have picked a system to implement this with, right? Now, I recommend you use Mommypreneur AI because it has literally everything you need all in one place, okay? If you want the link, comment the word system down below and I'll send you the link to Mommypreneur AI. But you ultimately decide what system you'll use, okay? Today, we're going to be talking about how this system will run and what we need in order to automate our $1 million business, okay? For my business owners that offer a service, last week I talked about how you can productize your service-based business. So check out that video also if you want to know how to do that. So how will this automated $1 million business a year run? How is it going to run? And what do we need in order to make this happen? Right. I remember when when I first started making money on my own, I was actually in high school and I sold candy at school. You know, how many of you guys got your hustle on selling candy in school? Comment me in the chat if you did. So it's interesting the things we figure out when we have a burning desire, right? And my desire at the time was shoes. You know, them fresh Air Force Ones just did something to me. So I garnered up enough courage to ask my mom to buy a pair of shoes for me. And of course, mom's, she had other stuff she was worried about. And me having a pair of shoes that I really didn't need was not on her list of priorities, right? So I got an absolute no to that question. And me being devastated, I went to school the next day and I saw one of the girls on the basketball team selling candy, and a light bulb just kind of went off like ding, ding, ding. And I thought to myself, I said, I get $20 a week for school for lunch, right? Now, of course, I wish, how many of us wish today we could take $20 and it'll last us for a week, right? But anyway, so I took that $20. I went to Smart and Final. I bought some candy and some snacks, and I got one of them big jugs of licorice. And my thought process was, well, I could walk around carrying the licorice because kids gonna beg for it, right? At least once a day, a kid in class was begging me for a pencil, some paper, or something. So me knowing this, I used the licorice as bait to get the kids' attention. And when they would ask me, hey, can I get a licorice? Let me get one of them. I'd be like, oh, yeah, you can get one. It's 10 cents. It's 20 cents. Right. And as soon as they say, oh, let me get 5 or 6 or 7, then I open up my gym bag and I have all kind of snacks. And they was, oh, let me get this. Let me get that. Let me da, da, da. And so it worked like a well-oiled machine is my point. And by the time nutrition came around, I was sold out. Like every day I was sold out. And I rinsed and repeated this process. And after 2 weeks, I walked in the house with a fresh pair of kicks on. You know what I'm saying? And mom was like, where you get those shoes from? And I broke it down to her and her mouth dropped. Like, she was like, wow, you did this? I'm like, yeah, I wanted them shoes that bad. Now, the best part about this process is I didn't have to chase after anyone. I didn't even have to talk to people too much or talk to the kids at school too much. And it was practically automated. All I had to do was walk around with licorice in my hand and keep snacks in my bag. Now you may be thinking, well, okay, Suzette, that's cool. That's all right, whatever. But what does that have to do with automating $1 million business, right? Well, think about it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And if you want more of it, scale it, right? So the same principles apply to automating $1 million business. We just need to offer the same thing to more people. Imagine that same concept in a crowd of 100,000 people instead of like a few hundred students, right? So what we'll need is bait to hook people in and offer that they can't refuse, something people have a burning desire for, and we need a system that can automate this entire process for us. So it happens without us being present, right? Now the process is slightly different. Wouldn't you agree? It's slightly different online, right? We can't walk around online with a big jug of licorice, right? So what does that process look like online and automating something like this, right? So the process is bait them on the burning desire that they have, offer them something valuable that they can't refuse, then give them the thing that they desire. So it's essentially like a 3-step process. And what do we need in order to do this, in order to make this happen? So in order to do this, we need to know what problem people are having or what burning desire they have. And we need to narrow that down to a specific group of people, right? And we can do this by simply asking the customers that you have now, right? Asking them what do they have a burning desire for that we can offer to them. Okay. Now let's break this down in numbers because it's important to kind of understand how this works numerically, right? So let's say we're offering a product for $197. Okay. How can we make, and essentially $1 million a year is $83,333 a month. So if we have a product that is $197, that's fulfilling that product solves a problem for people, and it could be clothing, it could be a mini course, it could be furniture. It really doesn't matter what, right? But in order for us to reach that number, we would need to sell this to 423 people every single month. I know that number may be a little big, right? It may be just a little big, but essentially, in order to make $1 million a year, we would need to reach out and connect with 423 people every single month, right? And the system we pick has to have the ability, welcome, welcome, welcome. The system that we pick has to have the ability to deliver on our product, collect payment for that product, and it needs to be able to communicate with people while we're sleeping and answer questions people may have, right? And you can do that in different methods, in different ways. You can do that using chat automation, you can do that using sales funnels, websites. The option is yours, okay? So let's take a step back, right? So yesterday, or not yesterday, last week we talked about essentially the first 2 steps in this process. Now I've broken this process down into a 7-step process on how we can automate our business to $1 million a year. And again, we're taking this journey together, right? We're taking this journey together because I've never automated $1 million a year business. I've automated my business to 5 figures a month, but I haven't automated it to hit that $83,000 a month mark, right? So we're essentially taking this challenge together. Okay, we're taking this challenge together. And so in breaking this down based on what has already worked for me, right? I've always had to have a system. That is imperative that you need to have a system. You need to provide essentially you need to your whatever product that you're offering needs to solve a problem for people, right? A product that I have now currently that solves the problem to people is housing, right? I own property, right? And so people, I have tenants in there. They've been in there for years and years and years, but my tenants pay me every single month, right? I also have a software business. I have a business where I'm offering a platform so business owners can essentially run their entire business, right? And so it's a 7-step process essentially. So the first step is in anything that you do, set the intention that you're gonna do and decide this is what I'm gonna do. Right? This is what I'm gonna do. Hands down, I'm gonna nip at it every single day. Whatever comes my way, I'm gonna take it in stride and I'm gonna keep pushing. Right? So that's step number one. Step two is pick a system. Whatever system it is that you may be wanting you pick the system that works best based on whatever product or service that you're providing, right? I recommend you use Mommypreneur AI because no matter what kind of business you have, that system works for any kind of business. Whether whether you sell clothes, whether you sell custom items, whether you are a consultant, whether you have courses, whether you have a membership community, whatever it is, this system can help you. But ultimately, you pick the system that you want. Okay. Now, step 3 is you want to optimize your offer and your pricing, which we just kind of talked about vaguely, right? I gave the example of if we have a $197 product, you want to be able to sell that product to 423 people every single month to be able to hit that goal, right? And you want to make sure your offer is giving them something that they have a burning desire for, or solving a problem that they may have. Okay. Now I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna kind of vaguely tell you the rest of the steps, but we're gonna go over. And I just also told you about lead generation as well. But we're gonna talk about step 5, 6, and 7 next week. Okay. But I just want to give you guys an understanding of what that system needs to do, how that pricing works based on your product or product that you're offering. And also another thing too to keep in mind for my service-based businesses, because I do work with a lot of service-based businesses. For those service-based businesses, you want to productize your business. I can't stress this enough. It is essentially, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's very, very hard to automate a service-based business to $1 million a year. In order for you to do that without productizing your business, you would have to essentially hire people, right? And that's going to cause a larger cost and overhead for your business. In other words, it's going to cost you a lot more upfront to do that as opposed to just productizing your business. And again, if you want to know how to do that, check out last week's live. I kind of broke that down for you. Okay. So step 1, set the intention. Step 2, pick the system. Step 3, optimize your offer and pricing. Step 4, automate lead generation, which we just talked about that. You can do that through chat automation, sales funnels, website. The option is yours based on whatever product or service that you have. Step 5 is we're going to leverage AI for customer service and engagement. Okay. This is what's going to work in the background. So when people are up late at night or we're sleeping or we're busy with our kids, right? And someone has a question about our product, then AI can step in and answer those questions for them. Okay. And then step number six is we want to scale marketing with automation as well. Excuse me. And then lastly, step number 7 is we want to analyze and adjust. So we analyze what's working, right? What our numbers is looking like, and we want to adjust based on that. Okay, now what does that mean? You may be thinking, well, Suzette, what are you talking about? Analyze our numbers, right? Well, essentially, once you put the system into place, right? Once you have everything set up, you have whether it's chat automation to garner up sales for your business, or it's sales funnels, right? If you have a product like a clothing brand, if you selling flashlights, if you selling tissue, it don't really matter, right? You can use a sales funnel to sell those products, right? Well, as people are going through the process, the process for your system, right? We set up that system. As they're going through the process, you're going to want to monitor and see what's working and what's not. And you can do that, and you can know that more so by your numbers, right? As people are going, how many people are opting in? How many people are responding to your message that you're putting out? Whether it's your social media content, whether it's your chat automation, whether it's your funnels, your website, how are people responding to it, right? Are you having hundreds of people go to your website and then they don't do nothing, right? Or do you have lots of people looking at your content and they're not taking action, or is no people or really no one looking at your content, right? So you want to analyze based on what's happening in your business. But again, we're gonna talk about the last 3 steps tomorrow. But I just want to give you guys a real good understanding of how this works and what we're gonna do and what we're gonna set in place. And at the end of this, once I break this down, all these steps down for you guys, I've kind of broken down all the way up to step number 4. Then I'm gonna give you the outline of how I'm gonna do it for my business specifically, so you can get an overview of how this could work for your business. Okay. So that's pretty much it for today. I don't too much like being on here too long. I want to get straight to the point, give you the gems, you know what I mean, and give you some actionable steps that you can do. So next week, what you want to do is you want to again have your system pick. You want to know what product that you're offering your customers. You want to know at what price point, right? You want to pick a price point that works for you and works for your business. And let me talk about this for a minute, because I definitely need to talk about this, right? Your pricing is going to be based on the transformation that your product gives your potential customer. What does that mean? That means you're not going to, we're not in the business. I'm going to just say over here, right? Over here, we're not in the business of lowering prices just for the sake of trying to make money, right? We're not focused on that. We're focused on how can this product change that person's life? How can this product offer a solution to this particular customer in their time of need, right? And we price based on that. Okay, so we're not doing the lower the price, race to the bottom of who can offer the less amount of money and all that stuff. We're not doing that. Okay, we're not doing that. Just along the same lines, and you know, I talked about this last week, right? Because we're doing this based on biblical principles, right? We're operating from a place of what God wants us to do in our business, right? And last week I talked about this a little bit, because a lot of people have issues with the two coming together, because most people think that, unfortunately, most people think that when money and Bible don't mix together, right? They think, oh, you know, right? But at the end of the day, we're gonna get into this a little bit more detail in next week. But I talked about this last week, so go check out that live. I'm not trying to kind of beat a dead horse there, but just keep in mind that when you're pricing your product, price based on the transformation that it gives them, based on what problem it solves for your customer. Okay. So with that being said, that's pretty much it for this week. You know, I do also want to just kind of like, you know, address this. It's been a lot going on in LA, and my heart really goes out to people out there that's struggling right now. You know, it's a lot going on right now, and so my prayers are with anyone who have lost everything and who's starting from ground zero. You know, my heart is really with you guys, because I understand. You know, I understand that has to be that has to be a very, very hard, difficult situation to be in. You know, I've been wondering and thinking about different ways of how I can help. You know, of course, but yeah, right now all I can do is really just pray for people in this time, because it's a lot going on right now. It's a lot going on in the world right now. You know, but let's one thing also is to just remain focused. Like, I know it's so I have really caught myself falling into the trap of being on my phone a lot, trying to keep up with what's going on. And it's really nothing I can do per se outside of like praying for people and, you know, and donating where I can, you know what I mean? But let's try our best this week, because there's a lot going on. And there was a lot going on last week, but let's try our best this week to remain focused and remain diligent on what on our intentions, right? And let's like starve those distractions. Like, let's do the best that we can. I know it's challenging with so much going on in the world. You know, it's really challenging, but let's try our best to stay focused on our intentions that we've set, and making sure that we're doing the things that need to be done so that this can come to fruition, right? Because this is going to be it's a challenge. Like, it's going to be a challenge, but the challenge is absolutely it could be something that could be so beautiful once it comes into fruition, and that's all I focus on, right? You know, the scripture says, you know, that Jesus set the joy before him. You know, and that's how we can remain focused in these different times, is to keep in your face, right? Keep your focus on the joy that the anticipation that you have, or the yeah, the anticipation that you have on whatever the thing that it is that you're hoping to gain, right? The thing that you're hoping to accomplish, more or less, right? Because I don't do this, let's be honest, I don't do this for me. Like, I don't do this for me, I do this for my daughter. Like, I do this for her. I do this so that once she gets of age, she don't have to go work for anybody else. There's already a family business in place that she can come and leverage her creative skills in, right? In a place where she's going to be valued, where she's not going to be just a number. She's not going to be just another person. She's not going to be expendable, right? So that's why I do this. I don't do this for the personal, aspect of things. You know what I mean? I do it for the for my legacy, right? For my daughter and her kids, right? So let's try our best to stay intentional and to stay focused this week on what we need to do to accomplish this, because this is not, like I said, it's not going to be something that you can just easily do. There's going to be a lot of different challenges along the way, but the good thing is, as long as we locked in, right? We locked in. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and I hope you stay blessed and stay safe, y'all. Peace.